So last week, few of you were not here, but we were able to record at least on my PC and then share that video. I hope you had opportunity to watch it and the quality was okay. So this week we're using Teams. Uh, Eventually, most of you were able to join, so that's a good thing. So we studied Shloka 7 to 10, where Duryodhana was evaluating his own army. We noticed that even though Kaurava army was almost double in size, he merely mentioned 7 names. And there's many different reasons various commentators have commented on, which we discussed. He was also inconsistent. He took Drona's name before Bhishma's name, and again, some commentators have given some reasoning behind it. Out of 99 brothers, he only mentioned Vikrama, especially the one who has been strong enough to oppose him whenever he was on the wrong side. And he doesn't call his commanders Maharathi, he calls them Yuddha Visharad. Whereas during Pandavas, he has pointed out Maharathis. And I think a good explanation for that one is that he had many other people who have come there to fight with him who were not Maharathis, and he didn't want to insult them. So we could take that as a positive way of looking at it. Or we could say that he was totally confused. We don't know. But they are just what Vyasa has done is by putting these slokas in and the description in this manner create a appearance of confusion in mind of Duryodhana, and that is probably the intent for Vyasa Maharshi. And that is typically because he is trying to explain us what is the problem that we are solving using in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the problem for which Lord Sri Krishna is providing us a solution? So that's what we covered last week. We'll keep going back to the problem of Raga, Krodha, and Moha throughout the Gita. In fact, Krishna also refers to this within his sermon to Arjuna. So that's the reason I'm focusing on it now, so that we have better references when Krishna refers to those 3 gunas. We also had discussions on why Vyasa was painting the details of the war. The war was just a canvas for Gita and not a message of Gita, not a message of destruction or violence. It's a message of Gita that applies to all situations wherever we have a situation where all choices, good choices that we have inherent problems, inherent shortcomings, which has got Dharma Prashna at times. So fighting war was a duty of a warrior, and Krishna was asking Arjuna to perform his duty. So the underlying message is the focus on your duty or your dharma and not so much on the violence of the war. It just happens to be coinciding at that time. I also gave example of my where I was able to get guidance from Gita on that outsourcing project, where all options in front of me were, none of them were clear cut. Each of them had its own risks and downfalls. We also discussed how Vyasa beautifully described the problem of humanity and shown all of the 3 states of mind, raga, shloka, and moha, the attachment, desire, unhappiness, grief, sorrow, as well as the delusion in his description so far. And we're just 11 shlokas, right? So let's listen to the 10 shlokas or 11 shlokas that, and it's expression by Swami Mukhananda, and then share this text. Okay, can you read the
It's very small text.
okay. You can see the shloka, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so before we actually jump into the discussion, uh, somehow I have not saved slides. I have prepared the slides, so we'll go directly from the web. That's not a problem. But just to see the background, so we have gone from Dhritarashtra's dialogue with Sanjaya. Then we have Duryodhana evaluating Pandava army, and then his own army, showing his state of mind, and now he is acting as a general, as a king, and that's what starts from this sloka. And here, the Vyas or Sanjaya is not spending too much time on that topic anymore, and is getting focused on the word. And as you hear, if you are watching also the translation, when the war started, and and Bhishma has blown his conch, and then Pandavas have blown theirs. Vyasa is a little bit partial over here. He is describing a lot more about Pandavas and doesn't even pay much attention about the what happened at Kaurav side. So I want you to kind of think over that one as we get into the discussion next week of those shlokas. And then finally at shloka 20, we have the real beginning of the story where Arjuna is opening his mouth. So that's where we are in the study so far. So let's go to the shloka 12. I need a volunteer to read that. Who is going to be the volunteer today? Ritesh, you want to do it?
I can do that if nobody's ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu
No, I think
yatha
we're going.
bhagavam
Am I sharing the
astitaha.
wrong one? Sorry. Am I
I'm
sharing
sorry.
12 or 11?
This is 11.
Yeah,
What we are seeing is 11.
12. Oh, screen's 11. Okay. Share this tab. Okay, let's go. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see the 12 now.
Oh, sorry. We wanted to start with 11 only, no? Right side. Forget. No, we did 11 last day. So 12 is what we want to do. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Tasya sanjana. Yeah, can you make it a little bigger, Kirnanda? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can make
Let's
it
see.
bigger.
Let me see if we can.
Oh,
Okay.
I can
You
zoom
can
in,
make it
but
bigger by yourself, okay? So just with the mouse,
yeah, if I
control
make
and
it bigger, it loses the focus. I cannot then pan
How
left.
about this?
Oh, yeah, this is good. Thank you.
and
Thank
you
you so
can
much.
move it as well, up and down or side by side to keep the focus on.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. This is good though. Uh, tas tasya sanjanaya yarasha kuru uddha pitamaha sinhanadam vinadyochai shankhadanmo pratapavan. Uh, Okay, so Sanjay said, thereafter, the venerable elder of the Kuru dynasty, the illustrious patriarch Bhishma, let out a resounding roar akin to a lion by sound in his conch shell, which great vigor bringing delight to Duryodhan. So, meaning, or do we read the meaning as well?
No, that's fine. I think okay, we can read it. Chris, it's a little far too much.
Yeah,
We can
okay.
instead discuss that rather than reading. Okay, but so it's 9 o'clock. I think let's discuss the shloka first, and then we can go to the next shloka. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, what are your reactions on this one? By the way, I did share my study notes with you, and in which I have given a few questions as well, so that might help you thinking through this shloka. But there are a couple things that maybe let me point out to get your thought process going. So here we have Duryodhan finally coming in the role of a king, and now getting to the realization that he is in middle of a war and he needs to get control over his situation, right? He cannot keep worrying about all his problems. And he looks at and he has seen, and according to his calculation, I'm just giving one perspective, and there are many other perspectives of this one. According to his calculation, Bhishma, who is a commander-in-chief for his army, is the most important one. And we must make sure that he can focus on fighting the war and, and progressing in that area and not worry about his own safety. So you can do one thing, either you can take care of yourself and defend, or you can be offensive. So he wants Bhishma to be offensive, and therefore he is asking all other generals to stay put where they have been kept. So in the old days wars, there are formations of the army in the different forms, and Mahabharata actually talks about very many different formations and gives exact description of each formation by Pandavas and Kauravas on each day of the war. So he is instructing all the generals that you stay put where you have been assigned, and while doing that, make sure you have eyes on Bhishma and nobody can hurt him. You protect him so that he can march ahead and bring victory to us. So that's one of the interpretation. The other interpretation, which is extreme, that is given by Prabhupada, he says that well, he knows he's respecting Bhishma. He knows Bhishma is strong, but he's also old. So he's worried that he might not be able to defend himself as well as offense, which Bhishma is otherwise expert in. So therefore, he's asking uh, others to protect him. So those are like two extreme, and there are some other in between. I'll kind of share that with you as we start discussing. So my question to you is, what do you think is intended over here, either by Vyasa or by Duryodhana, the character, in asking his generals to protect Bhishma? Anyone? Yes, Vani?
Yeah, as we all know that Duryodhana was frightened to see Pandava army and he was having very low confidence. So this shows that he had emotional dependency on Bhishma. So in order to feel secured, in order to have high confidence, or in order to be more confident, like he wanted to protect Bhishma. And Bhishma was not just a commander, he was a moral and emotional support for Kauravas. And secondly, Duryodhana, he could rely on Bhishma blindly, and he know that he was the one who could protect him from Arjuna. So that's why I think he wanted to protect Bhishma the most.
Yeah, he didn't. You mean he didn't want to take any risks there?
Yeah.
He knew basically that Bhishma has full commitment. He would fight until his last breath, and he also had um, a vardhan of ichha. Whenever he
Mrityu.
desires to die,
Shaman,
he can
yeah.
only
So
die
he can,
that time. So
yeah, nobody can kill him. He only
correct.
decides
So
when he dies. Yeah.
yeah, so I think that was the only thing in Duryodhan's mind, that so long as he is alive, Duryodhan is alive. So protect him to the best of capability.
Now, I just question, why do you think that Duryodhana is sure that Bhishma will be with him? He knows Bhishma has soft point for Pandavas, yet you say that he is confident that Bhishma will protect him.
Because he knew that Bhishma was dutiful.
He had a commitment towards the throne, and Bhishma had committed that he will fight the war for the throne. So basically protect the kingdom. So whichever side Duryodhana was on, whether he was on a dharma side also, he was committed to fight for him, not necessarily for Pandavas, even though they were on dharma side.
Very good point. Yes, Vish, you had something to comment?
No, exactly the same thing. What Vani said.
Right. Vivek and Vani, yeah. Okay, great. Uh, anybody else wants to add? See, everybody here. Okay. All right. I will kind of, yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead.
just a thought. Bhishma, he had a boon, right? That Ichha Mrityu, he can take whenever he wants, kind of thing, right? Now, probably Duryodhan is in doubt that, means during the time of fight, if there is a dilemma or something happens because of the soft corner of Pandav, you know, he wants to protect Bhishma from that emotional influence which might come from when he contacts Pandavas, and he wants to protect that emotional dilemma which might happen. So he wants him to be secured from that particular aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, actually, there are few people, not major commentators, but the bloggers have made that point. Yet I have not seen that. I also thought
Okay,
one way or the other sometimes, yeah, maybe that could be the reason. But for some reason, all the major commentators and the current knowledgeable people that we have, like different swamis, none of them have raised that point. This being, Bhishma has a long record of following his word, being true to his word, and we have
right.
to not doubt that.
Yeah,
That's the reason. I don't think even Duryodhana would
oh,
doubt that,
okay,
because he has seen even in the worst of his act, which is Draupadi Vastahan, uh, Bhishma has not said anything, right? He has been annoyed, but not really acted in between, because he's respecting him and just Dhritarashtra as the kings. So the monarch
okay,
and the king are the in charge, and he is only supporting. He is a warrior. So that's the role that he has played throughout that process, and that's the reason Duryodhana probably is very confident that Bhishma will do his uh, duty. Ritesh?
okay.
Yeah, again, not sure, but there was another name that was referenced as well, which is Shikhandi, and Shikhandi is actually the one who's destined to bring like Bhishma's death, right? I mean, so I'm not sure at this point. Duryodhan also has that fear in his mind because Shikhandi is also on the war field and he wants to protect, but that could be another aspect also, like not let have Shikhandi reach Bhishma, so protect him in all directions from that perspective.
That's a very good point. And actually, we do see that on the 10th day that they do rearrange in all the way so that Bhishma is protected from Shikhandi. So, yes, Vish.
Question. So Shikandi was not introduced into the war at the early stages. She or he came in quite after like couple of days, right? Only when, right? Is that correct understanding?
Yeah, so those are the strategies that were that were what Duma has uh, planned, right? So yes, but the fact that Shikhandi would eventually kill uh, Bhishma was known. That story was known, and people knew that Shikhandi has taken that oath to kill Bhishma. So so they when Yudhishthira says that Duryodhana may know as he has seen, and actually he does mention Shikhandi as Shikhandi blows his conch, that maybe it means he is in line of sight for Duryodhana, so that might have prompted Duryodhana to protect Bhishma even more carefully. Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. So that is a different understanding than what I had. So thank you. I
Yeah.
thought he was introduced. I didn't know that he was. I mean, with the verses, you can know that Shikandi was also there and the right in the starting, and he did blow his conch. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
when and I would highly recommend to read this chapter of Mahabharata or listen to many. There, I forgot. I had to give you guys link on one of the blogs that is really nicely done on the Mahabharata. So you actually can see how strategically each day Pandavas played their card, so that they knew didn't have as much numbers, so they have to be more strategic in nature, and that's how they were playing. So that's why Shikandi was not brought in right away. Bhishma is buried in there, right? So they are uh, acting using that particular strategy. It's not in the Bhagavad Gita, but it's in the Mahabharata. So we'll have to kind of go back and forth on that one. All of you, as you're studying Bhagavad Gita, as you can find, and some of you I know have watched the whole Mahabharata series. I have not watched it, so I was in US at that time and didn't have access to that series when it was published. And so I'm not. My only references to 3 or 4 different versions of Mahabharata that I have read or listened to. But I guess this was very nicely portrayed in that TV series. In fact, it's Tadatmanandaji, whose link I have given. He mentions in one of his lectures that he saw that series 3 times when he was in India as a student of the Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and that helped him understand Hindi, that helped him understand Mahabharata and Indian culture. So Tadatmananda, anybody who has not seen his video, is a US-born American, white American person who was a computer scientist and somehow got that company involved in drugs. Swami Dayananda Saraswati came in company of Swami Dayananda Saraswati, who took him under his cover, and eventually he took sannyas. And then Swami asked him to start a ashrama, which is in New Jersey, and that's where he takes many different lectures on various scriptures. He's absolutely knowledgeable and a very good speaker. So if you get the opportunity, do listen to his videos. Anyway, so Dayananda Saraswati, as we talk about Dayananda Saraswati, I can give you what his take was. So he says that, yeah, Bhishma was oldest and he was particularly invincible. So if he would die or if you fell, then Kaurava will fail. So he knew that Kaurava's victory is in his hand. So therefore he must. So just similar point that Ritesh made. That's what Dayananda Saraswati said. we already, Mukundanandaji is a little bit slightly different aspects of that one. He says that Bhishma, he knew that his all of those millions of soldiers and the generals that are there in Kaurava army come from various distant parts of India, but they are not because of Kaurava, not because of Duryodhana, but they are because of Bhishma. They believe that Bhishma cannot go on the wrong side. So if they did not probably didn't know everything that happened during the first part of Mahabharata, and they came in there for Bhishma. So if Bhishma fails, then these people will go away, and then there's so that's Mukandanandaji's take on this one. Swami Madhusudana Saraswati, the 15th century Rishi, he is giving a totally philosophical meaning to this shloka, and we'll take that one, and then we go to the next one, unless you guys have any comments. So he goes back to the samsara roga analogy, and he says that the desperate clinging of the Kauravas to the worldly protection, which is Bhishma. Bhishma is a worldly protection. So here it is a extreme display of attachment by Dhritarashtra, by Duryodhana, that is happening over here. And this is where, this shloka is where, after this, the transformation of the war, the spiritual transformation of the war starts taking place. So this is the key point. This is the keystone in the structure of Bhagavad Gita. That's what Madhusudana Saraswati has said. And all of the other commentators that I named, they all study both Madhusudana Saraswati as well as Shankaracharya. So, and Shankaracharya has not made any comment on this one. Yes, Satish.
Yeah, on that point, right? So this particular shloka is actually denoting, right, Bhishma, and every conch represented the characteristic, right? And so describing Bhishma like as a lion, right? So now he's on the field, and when he blows, I think that brings in like, okay, he's committed.
That's the next
And
shloka. That's the next shloka. Yeah.
So, okay, I'm looking at 1.12, where Bhishma is blowing his conch.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's the one we were referencing
right.
right? Yeah. So he's describing as lion, right? So now he's really on the field, and that brings in more like his commitment, and then Duryodhan will start believing more into that. Like, okay.
Yeah, the Sihanad has many different meaning, and in Mukundanandaji has said lion's roar, but Sihanad also means war cry. So it may or may not be that one. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that could be one of the interpretations as well. Yeah. So lion's roar, Sihanad has many meanings, lion's roar as well as war cry. So both meanings are available for that, and then commentators have used either of those meanings. Okay, but yes, very good point. Anything else? Can we move on to? I want to bring in a couple of things that I want you to think through. So if you get a chance to look through my study notes document, which is meant for self-study, I have a couple of questions and a sadhana. So I'm start introducing the word sadhana. Sadhana is, so as you study Bhagavad Gita, you have 701 or 700 shlokas, and the right way, the best way of really getting best out of Bhagavad Gita is to understand the meaning, listen to different commentators and their interpretation, and then you do your self-study. So you ask few questions to yourself and go to a sadhana meditation and and then think over that shloka and take away your own personal message, which will be different for everybody because we are at different stage in our life. We may have come here with different purpose. There's different drivers for us to come over here. And the beauty of Bhagavad Gita is it is written in such a way that you may, no matter which direction you come in, you're going to get your personal message. So to get that personal message, you want to go through a sadhana process. So I have given that. So uh, look at that document and work that through. So I will read those for now. So the questions that you may, we already discussed is why does Duryodhana want to have army to focus on protecting Bhishma? That was a good group discussion. Then a question that I want to ask you is, do you think Duryodhana is trying to get control over his fears or acting as a strategic leader guiding a general? What is driving his action? Dharma, raga, shoka, moha. So is he being now performing his duty, dharma, or is he still showing his attachment like Madhusudan Saraswati has said, or it is his fear, shoka, grief, fear, and or is it a delusion that he just doesn't know what to do, so he's blabbering? All of those things are possible, as you noticed. So you need to think it through, go through meditative process, and think and see what you think. Maybe you want to share that on WhatsApp or share that next week with us. Either way is fine. Okay. And for the sadhana, this is very important. So I am bringing you to a shloka from 18th chapter, which says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutana Hridyaste Arjuna Sthita, means I am the God, the Lord is in your heart. Okay. In prior discussions, we have already established the fact that within us there is a Duryodhana and there is a Arjuna. Both of them are there. And then there is a guide in our heart, the Krishna. Okay. So what, with that in mind, with your Prakriti as a Duryodhana and your Prakriti as a Arjuna and your compass of the Lord Sri Krishna in your heart, how would you now look at Duryodhana? Okay. What should be your feeling towards him? Should you hate him? Should you be mad at him? Or should you have empathy about him? Or should you have compassion about him? Okay. Think of that. What would you do? What is your feeling as you are going through this study? How do you feel about Duryodhana? This, don't say it now. Go through your own personal, touch your mind, touch your feeling yourself, and honestly understand. You don't have to share with us unless you want to, but think it through. What is the reason? What we have seen, what Bhishma has done. Bhishma is done because Bhishma is Bhishma. He has shown compassion. He starts the war, right? So, so that's the take that he has taken. What would you do? That's the sadhana. So that's when you use the structure of studying Bhagavad Gita, shlok by shlok, you would have a much more return from your investment in this study group. Okay, good. Let's go to, we have 4 minutes. We should be able to at least read the meaning and we can get the discussion next week. So we want to go to 13. Okay, who is the volunteer now? Raise your hand if you are ready. Vivek, looks like you are ready.
I'm just trying.
Yes, go ahead, do it.
Tata Shankha cha bhayarsha Pranavanak gomukha Sahasab Papayanta Sashabdastumalo Abhivat.
Bhavat. English.
English translation. Then
Yeah.
numerous conches, kettle drums,
Speak.
beagles, trumpets, and horns suddenly blared forth, and their collective sound was tremendous.
So this is very interesting. In fact, uh, Taratmanandaji, is it Taratmanandaji or maybe some other commentator? Now I don't have the exact notes on that one. Makes a very interesting, not observation, but a comment. He says, look, Vyasji is very, very partial to Pandavas. He gives one shlok for not just Kaurava, but Kaurava and Pandava together, all army, about all the noise, all the commotion that starts after Bhishma opens up the Kancha, his own Shankar. And then he gives multiple shlokas for Pandavas. So that's something that we would kind of discuss next week. I'm very aware of the time contract that we have, but the some of the takeaways here for us to think of is first thing is when Vishma blew his conch, what has he done? He has now officially started the war. Up to now, there was talk of the war. The challenge was given by Pandava. Pandava invited the Kauravas for war, a challenge to war, and that's how it came through. So there was really no reason for Bhishma to blow the Kancha. He does that because he sees, and we have not discussed that. There was some last shloka. I want to get that discussion also along with this shloka when we come next week. But see the consequence of this one. This means that he could have, and just think it through and see what you think about it. I will also have not done my complete study on 12 yet, as much as I have done on 11. But go and think yourself or do your own study and come up with reasonings why Bhishma has blown his conch and started the war. Okay, why did he not wait for the moment that there could have been a change of heart? Krishna could have changed the situation, and there would have been a peace treaty. Who knows, right? Or he could have tested Pandavas on his strategy and let them start the war, but he didn't do that. So why did he do that? That's something that we will discuss next week. I'm looking forward for your comments on that one. Okay, I have also prepared the uh, study sheet, worksheet for Shloka 12 as well. So you can look at that and get your guidance on that one. I do want to know, I do plan to do for, if I can, I will do for all shlokas, but it does take some time. It does take. I may or may not be able to do for the next 7, 8 shlokas because it doesn't. It is about conscious and uh, that would take a little bit longer time. I do want to prepare myself for the shlokas from 21 onwards, which has a lot more philosophical discussion. So I might focus to get the worksheet on that one. But do look at them and try to see if they do add any value to you or not. If they don't add a value, let me know. No feelings will be hurt. I will just then not spend as much time. Okay, but it does help you. Then it's time worth spent for me. I This is the process by which I study Bhagavad Gita, and so I thought I might share that with you guys. Okay, all right. We will take a leave. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we can start the meeting.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right. Thank you for spending your 1 hour on Sunday morning with me. This is adding, you don't know how much value it's adding to me. This is making me study Bhagavad Gita that I have not done in 71 years of my life as seriously as I'm doing now. So I'm very, very thankful to you for that. All right.
Thank you for keeping us on track, Uncle.
Okay.
Bringing us every Sunday back.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, thank you all. Bye.